Welcome to the world. It's happening. It's out there, spinning right along. We're all going to fly off because it's a flat Earth, and if you spin the flat Earth, it's like a chessboard, and the pieces are just going to fly right off into outer space. Except they won't, because you'll go thwack and hit the firmament, and then you'll be squished like a bug on the firmament. Something like that. So, I thought, hey, good morning, folks. Hey, it's Corn Lips. Hey, there's a lot of fuckery going on in the world. So apparently, Russia and the USA are meeting in Julandia, I think tomorrow or something like that. But anyways, there's stuff on my face. It's early. So I think all the war stuff is at a lulling point right now. Hey, Melissa. If you switch it to live chat, you should be able to say what you want, except YouTube is censoring words even on their so-called uncensored chat. Like, I can't go in and say nigger in a chat room anymore. Your comments are automatically deleted, even if the owner of the chat sets it up to not censor anything. So America is just full fascist. Well, I hate, before we get into any more stuff, if you remember the Monday, we did a little bit of talking about that crop report. Well, I've been on Twitter, even though they keep shutting down my accounts. I keep having to make new ones and go back onto Twitter. And remember, on Monday, I was like, what the fuck is this bullshit report where they're like saying 92% of the corn is planted and some bullshit like that. Even just last night, I talked to someone who said they finally got a couple of dry days of weather, and we're like at the end of June, and they're actually out there planting corn like mad right now. I'm serious. It's going crazy. I had to look up because the last weather report I got was rain through the middle of the week for most of the entire Midwest. Like, we're talking up to 4 inches and a lot, like a big swath, like Iowa and New Hampshire or some shit like that. Hi there.
Hi.
I'm gonna be hungry, so
Hi.
This is gonna be a short hangout probably again. We are also conserving bandwidth and stuff. They charged us extra money last month's internet for bandwidth. It was only like $3 or $4 extra, but still, it's not like we're here so much. Whatever.
Yeah. The fuck.
Yeah. Anyways, but since that Monday, I've been talking. Well, look, if you really want how I'm keeping up on this is I'm looking at the Twitter hashtag NoPlant19 and NoPlant2019. And there's a new hashtag that gives results too. The farmers talking is hashtag OATT. It means if it's like oat time or what. I don't know. Uh-oh.
Sorry. Microwave done.
Corn Lips is getting dicked around at the VA.
Hi.
Unemployment report. It's almost that bad, Melissa, but not quite. I'm getting to it. So remember. Oh, I'm sorry, Corn Lips. My older brother died of a stroke when he was like 44, so that sucked balls. Or 45, I think. Anyways, you keep on telling me what's going on. I'm reading. I want to do this thing before I forget. So, on the last week's, which was Monday, hey, Tanya's even here.
Hi.
Working.
Yeah.
The Monday crop progress report, I found out because, farmers have the internet and they tell us what's happening. And they told us what I've learned from the farmers themselves is that the USDA, because this crop report is based on self-reporting by the farmers themselves, they get a fucking questionnaire mailed to them every week and they fill it out and they fucking send it back into the USDA and then the USDA does magic with it or something. Oh, Carnup's getting dicked around by his brother.
Oh, that sucks.
But that's why we need to keep trying our live streams. When we're back on the road, I don't know if anybody here was following us when we were actually living on the road. So you might, if you're concerned about things of not seeing us, don't worry. It just means that you won't see us live stream unless we're like at a library or something. Oh my God. I'm sorry, Cornlips. Yeah, like my kiddo wanted to come visit me yesterday because she couldn't come out on the weekend for Father's Day. And then her mom threw a big fit and she wouldn't let her come visit me. So I was exactly right that people are preventing my kiddo from coming to visit me even when she wants to. You know, so yeah, the rules. Well, don't let them blame the booze, man. Don't let fucking people blame their chemical actions on their bad behavior. Hold them, you know, because people they always try to blame drugs for what they do. And in Shanglu, we don't put up with that, man. A person's responsible for their actions regardless of drugs. That's the Shanglu law. So yeah, sorry to hear that. I'll wait for you to finish. Even after I clean it, it's all steaming still. I don't know. I cleaned it well for you. I'm going to make some more chai, even though I should. I want to ask the neighbor about getting a ride into the Safeway tomorrow or something, okay? Yeah, exactly. And then they blame their bad behavior on their drugs. Like me, I found out weed was giving me panic attacks, so I quit smoking weed because I chose my mental health over a recreational drug, you know. And like if it didn't give me panic attacks, I'd be all for smoking weed. But oh my gosh, what a dickhead, man. You need to just fucking hold him down, beat the hell out of him or something, and tell him to fucking grow the fuck up.
Just because you're related to them doesn't mean they're your friend.
Yeah, and that's what I have to remind people too. He knows, Cornlips knows. He's just sharing. He needs people to share this with. It's not like he can talk to his kiddo about it and stuff.
You know, okay, I got a friend request this morning on Facebook of a guy that I knew like a long time ago. But Fuckwad has been fucking with me. Hi, Fuckwad. Fuck you. And so I asked the guy like a question that only he would know the answer to, and he didn't answer me, which is weird. So I said, I think you're Bob.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Bob.
And Facebook itself is fucking around with people too. You know, Facebook is spying on people offline to decide if they have to be labeled as a terrorist on Facebook. They're looking for reasons offline to eliminate people's accounts online. I mean, we live in the fucking fascist shithole big time. Like, the police state is here, man. This is it. This is it. Well, it's like, it's only a cunt hair away before they start using the government to round us up because, whoa, we're hate speechers. Got to arrest us and put us in jail for, like, hurting the feelings of the fucking soy boys and the fucking MAGA hatters. Because they pretend like they're not related, but they're just two sides of the same clown car there, man. Yeah. That's quite a little fun. Oh my god, I hate using that. We gotta get showers today early, hopefully.
Okay.
Oh, goodness. I want another chai because I'm not fat enough yet. And I don't have coffee, so, you know. Here we are. But the lying crop report, USDA motherfuckers. What happened, let me get my chai going first. And I'll explain how they fucked up, made the crop progress report pretty much fucking pointless as far as a tool for anybody to use it for anything. Fucking, and it's how fascism destroys shit. When you start putting out fake information, it's no longer fucking information, and it's supposed to be raw data and pure data, non-political fucking activities, so the farmers can know what the fuck's going on, so that the markets can know what the fuck is going on, so that everybody can make an adult fucking decision about shit. But you can't do that anymore in America. No adult decisions allowed.
No, just whining and crying.
And fake news. I mean, they're fucking the U.S. government is publishing fraudulent fucking crop data. I mean, is that not pathetic? I don't know about you, but that to me is just fucking pathetic when the government is putting out. I mean, like, so can we trust the U.S. government when they're doing their fucking Antarctica and their Arctic Circle fucking ice extent? I mean, is that fake news too? It's seriously. It doesn't matter which way you're fucking manipulating the data. If it's not legitimate fucking unbiased fucking science, then it's not useful as a fucking tool. You've destroyed the value of the very thing you're trying to do that way, which is to maintain a civilization. Remember, this is our foundations of civilization. Farming. How does the planet work? What are the seasons going to be? What do we need to prepare for in the future? Flooding, droughts, wildfires. What? Disease? So without real fucking scientific data, we're fucking just going through life blind, our whole fucking nation. The whole fucking nation is in the fucking blindfold because rich assholes have corrupted our fucking actual scientific agencies, and they're now putting out fake fucking science.
Well, and they've also fucked with the education system.
Well, yeah.
So much worse than it was.
Yeah. There's people that are growing up thinking that fucking Jesus and Noah fucking fought in the fucking Civil War and fucking wrote the Constitution on the back of a fucking dinosaur. I mean, Jesus and his fucking peaceful fucking AK-47 brigade and shit like that.
Have you heard of a VASH rep? Apparently they're like social workers for veterans.
Huh. A VASH from the VA. Oh, those fuckers fucked me over, Corn Lips. They totally fucked me over. The VASH voucher. They tell you it's good that's the one for the housing. Oh. Yeah, when you get it, they say, oh, this is good for your whole life. Well, that's a lie. If you go on a fucking mental health fucking Lululand and you're like, well, I'm going to go look and I don't need this thingy, and they throw it away, and then when you come back 3 years later and say, hey, I'm back from Insanity World, they're like, oh, too bad, get in line, start all over again. But yeah, if you can get that, if you can go through the hoops to get a VASH voucher, it'll help pay part of your rent and stuff. So, except
then you're going to have somebody coming to your house like every
month
or every 3 weeks or something.
Every month.
So you got that to deal with. And then if you live like in an apartment, then there's certain rules that says that they have to come in and check other stuff too.
Oh yeah, the apartment. Like when I was
that was just bullshit.
The entire U.S. is goddamn bullshit. So I was on that VASH program, and the only thing we could afford was a shitty ass 2-bedroom apartment because it was me and my kiddo and stuff. Yeah, no, well, the housing, the VASH voucher is for housing. And then the VASH program, like you said, has the social worker stuff. And they come and they want to check up on you every month and ask you what kind of drugs you're doing and have you tried to kill yourself, blah, blah, blah. But I'm trying to say, and then we had the housing voucher and the apartments, because it was rent controlled federally, we were having inspectors coming in every fucking week. I mean, the government.
It was certainly more than monthly.
No, because it was the apartment complex, the fire department, the fucking everybody.
And then the VA check.
The VA check. Yeah, no, that's why I gave all that shit up, because I was sick and tired of having the government come in and interrogate me every fucking week. And then if you missed an appointment, they would send the fucking sheriffs to your house and knock on your door on the weekend when you're taking a fucking nap and shit. It's like, I got so tired of the government being up in my fucking business. I'd rather just be poor. I'd rather be poor and homeless than have some fucking government fucking interrogating me every fucking week. I mean, it was driving you crazy.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I often had to make myself scarce when the VA chick came around because she just bothered me.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Just her, she was so condescending. It was so fucking annoying.
They all are, though.
Yeah.
And they treat me like I'm some kind of a fucking, like, rabies infested wild animal and stuff is how they treat you if you're a veteran. Like if you're some like filler or something like that, I'm guessing they fucking treat you all nice and all, but when you're actual combat arms, they treat you like you're some kind of dangerous criminal with like a fucking gangrene or some shit. It's like,
well, aren't you?
Well, apparently in Washington State we are. But yeah. Yeah, I'm just giving you the heads up. And the East Coast apparently is a different world because
they probably treat
people better over there.
They might. Well, you're right, and they might actually treat vets differently over there because there's a different, idea of service of your country. I think there.
Yeah, so maybe we would do better on the East Coast and we don't even know it.
On the West Coast, people are more like, "Give me the government money, but fuck you, government."
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like the West Coast is a bunch of fucking avocado toast eating e-bagger scum. It's terrible.
I laugh because it's true, and I'm a California girl.
Yeah, no, but it's probably way worse than you've heard, Corn. That's probably way worse than you've heard because it's really bad. We get treated.
The tent encampments in Seattle. That's just it's. Wow.
The East Coast cities surrounded by hordes of tweakers? Because in the West Coast, every city's infested.
Apparently,
with tweakers.
San Francisco. I haven't been there in years. Well, maybe 5 years. Apparently, it's really disgusting now.
Yeah. We have docs now. We got state medical, so we're seeing doctors, and I'm unlike Seroquel. It's why I'm getting so fat. Okay, it's not because I'm just sitting around and saying, "Oh, let's eat," but it's because the Seroquel makes me eat like you wouldn't believe.
You have more of an appetite.
Yeah, it's insane. And some days
I've been taking something that's actually made me gain a little bit of weight, but I mean, I guess I'm up to 110. Ooh.
I know. You gaining weight's not really the problem, but yeah. Especially if you're going to get your jaw wired shut again.
Well, that exactly.
I don't want that to happen, but man, I mean, that's why my ex is going bonkers because she sees how I'm taking care of you and she realizes how fucked up she is by fucking me over.
Well, you didn't used to take care of me like you do before the accident.
No, I was always there for you.
Well, no, you were always there for me, but I wasn't as unable to do things
before you weren't aware because you had no way of knowing that I was serious about saying I was going to be there for you no matter what, okay? But now you do know, and everybody else knows that I'm that person too.
Well, being that the no matter what actually happened.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Who else knows? It's not that you ever want to be in that situation, but it happened and we're still here, That's all. Yeah, I haven't even talked about the USDA crop progress report yet. That's hilarious.
Oh, Social Security, that sucks.
Oh God!
So
every
much.
time
SSI
they rob you. They rob you every time you move.
They're trying to kill me.
Yeah.
They're trying to drive me fucking crazy.
If you want to know why there's fucking hundreds of thousands of homeless tweakers all over the West Coast,
it's
because of Social Security in the government.
It is fucking insane.
their basic logic is if you're homeless, we don't have to give you money because you're homeless.
And basically the attitude of, well, you look fine, so you must be fine. Yeah, I'm not fucking fine, okay?
I know. It's like if you're not missing a limb or have like a third head growing out of your nipple or something. It's
shh, don't say anything.
And it's like me, because I don't have physical disabilities, it's all mental health issues. They treat me like I'm some kind of a leper, like scumbag.
I actually have physical disabilities now.
Right. The West Coast is just shit, basically. I don't know about other places because we're not in other places. Okay, so.
Funny thing is that most people don't even realize that
Holy shit.
I'm disabled even, you know? Because you can't see that I have a brain injury. And most people don't really see the scar that I have over here, which is a pretty, it's not a big scar, but it's just kind of gruesome looking.
Maybe I should see if I can get the Social Security disability too. I should qualify.
Well, you should, huh?
Yeah. No, I have applied for the Social Security and got to the judge and they threw my case out.
Well, when I was trying to get SSI, I was sort of put through faster than most people because I had been hospitalized. Well, no, before that, I had been hospitalized for mental health issues.
It's kind of hard to dispute that.
And that pretty much that got me in real quick.
I'm at my level and my income is coming in enough. And when we get out of here and we're living in the wilderness, I don't know what we'll do. I'd really.
They didn't even deny me the first time.
Oh, yeah. He's talking about the VA one.
Oh, I thought it was SSI because they deny everybody too. But for some reason, they didn't deny me.
Civilization of America is coming to an end, so I'm not really worried about it. We're kind of more gearing up for surviving after the famine or through the famine. I mean, they're lying about the food. So when your government is lying to you about your food, it means there's a problem with the food. Governments don't lie like that unless there's a problem to lie about.
I wonder if they're also lying, like, you know, to the whole nation about the severity of, you know, the flooding in these particular places or whatever.
Probably. Yeah, that's what the fake farming channels on YouTube are doing. It's like, oh, everything's fine. Ever look at all the farming? Look, we're farming here. Everything must be fine.
It's probably Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot.
Why is he 100% disabled and he still works as a doctor?
Because he's just 100% disabled because it's based off of your career field. So he's 100% disabled as a SIL.
Okay.
All right.
Huh.
It's like I should be able to get 100% too because I'm 100% disabled as a cavalry scout.
Sure.
Right. I can't do that job for the military because I'd refuse to be a fascist whore. So I'm no longer qualified.
You have that disability of not being a fascist whore.
Right. So, like, anyways, let me get back to this crop report from Monday, which was the 17th, the USDA NAS crop progress report. Yeah, I know, Corn Lips. I know the VA doesn't touch your money if you get a job. It's just no one will give me a job, all right? No one's going to give me a job at all. I have too much college. I'm overqualified. And I don't put up with being a slave, so I'm not going to get a job because no one is going to hire me to be in a position of authority, which is the only kind of fucking place I could make it as. I know what's going on, and I'm not going to sit around being a fucking little fucking idiot stick pusher. It's not going to happen.
Well, I think probably about the only job that I might be qualified for is Walmart greeter, and that wouldn't work because I'd end up punching somebody.
Well, how do you smoke weed and they wouldn't let you have
Well,
a
that's
job?
true too.
Yeah.
But I'd probably end up punching somebody at the interview.
But I tell people, I'm like, no one's going to give me a job because sooner or later, a stupid person's going to get in my face and I'm going to wreck them. And that way I'm not going to get a job. Anyways, unless they want to, you know, and no one's going to hire me for a legit security job because I know more than the boss. And if they don't listen to me, I'm not going to sit around and do the job the wrong way. I'm not going to fucking do a fucked up job. If you want me to do a job, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it fucking right. And people in America don't want jobs being done right.
Sorry, I just thought of something funny. Well, like, so, like, what if I took, like, a rock and painted it to look like, I don't know, like it was alive, and then it's my pet rock, and then when somebody pisses you off and you hit them with the rock, you're like, bad Rocky!
What I want to do,
sorry, I thought it was funny,
is one of the other internet peoples gave me a link for finding work and stuff when you're like mobile and things, and we do have this internet thing still. So once we're free of this shithole and we have a vehicle and we're able to travel again, I want to find work teaching people how to shoot weapons and getting out. But I want to get jobs like training militias and shit how to fire their weapons properly and stuff like that. Or individuals if they want to know how to operate their firearms properly and safely and how to defend themselves. I want to get work doing what I'm good at, which is guns. I'm very good with guns. And like surviving like in a war. So I really want to get back into that kind of work, like maybe get paid by a militia to show them how to properly fire their weapons. Because if you look at the fucking militia stuff out there, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, guys. They don't. And they have all that money, and they can give me all that money, and I'll turn them into a real fucking militia.
I used to be good at taking care of kids, but now not so much.
Anyways, I really want to finish up and let you know not finish up, the crop of lies. What happened, oh, you're going?
I'm going to go.
Okay.
See you later.
Why are you going?
I don't know, because I'm going to go over here now.
Okay. She's going over there now. You're welcome to come back.
Okay.
So when the USDA sent their last crop progress report surveys to the farmers, they told the farmers to base their percent of planted crops based off of current conditions, meaning they said in April when they all start the whole planting season, they're like, tell us how much acres you plan to plant. And then through the entire planting season, week by week, that initial base number, that's called your denominator in the, oh no, you got a phone call. That denominator is their total amount of land that you plan to plant fucking stuff on. Now, what the USDA did is to say, ignore that number you gave us in April and instead tell us how much you've planted based off of how much you plan to plant now after all of the rain has destroyed everything. So that's why the crops went from like a 68% planted to magically 92% planted. So basically what happened is the USDA said to ignore all the ruined crops that you're actually not going to plant anymore. So the farmers weren't actually out there for a week just planting like mad. What happened is the USDA just stopped counting all of the acreage that's no longer plantable this year because of all the flooding. So that's how they got that magic number of like 92% of the corn being planted. And that's why the corn futures are doing what they're doing, which is being a little wiggly, but not going skyrocket based off of if we had real data. And that's how it's fucked up because they're keeping the prices of corn artificially low, which is just another way of fucking over the farmers because all of this flooding has ruined like a lot of the silos and the stored grains of our nation. And now these farmers aren't going to have a crop to sell for next year. And then our government is putting out fake fucking numbers, which is suppressing the value of the crops that they are trying to sell from last year. And they're basically stealing money from the farmers by keeping the prices of the corn futures artificially low. If the USDA had put out the proper numbers of how much of the corn is actually not getting planted, it would have been probably down to 70% opposed to 100% of where it should be. And then the corn futures for July would have already been over $5 a bushel right now. And the farmers could have actually gotten a good price for the corn that they saved from last year that didn't get ruined by the flooding yet. Now what's happening is everybody's buying corn futures that are artificially low on the price, and that's raping our farmers. Our farmers that are filing bankruptcy because this flooding made it to where they're not going to be able to have crops this year are now getting shit all over and robbed from the last bit of fucking stored grains that they do have. And that's what's happening to our farmers. Our U.S. government is robbing our farmers.
America!
Yeah. Go Trump, eh? And guess what? It's all those Midwestern farmers that drove the Trump to fucking election. So he's destroying his own base now. He's robbing from the people that got him elected. That's what Trump's doing right now. Now, the markets aren't going to stay fooled for long. So I haven't checked the futures for today yet because it's no point. You got to wait a few more hours. Like you wait around. I don't know, when do the markets close on the East Coast? It's probably like 5 p.m., which is so 2 p.m. 4. Yeah. So 1 p.m. our time on the West Coast is when all the markets shut down. But if you wait a little bit later in the evening till the actual evening time, they have the Chinese and Singapore type markets, which will do their openings and stuff. And then their closings later on. So you got to remember this fucking commodities business. It's a global thing. We are global. We are a global civilization, whether you want to admit it or not. So what America? That's why everybody's mad at America right now, because we're fucking up the entire fucking food chain. We're fucking up the entire civilization. We've destabilized fucking everything in the entire world, because we might call ourselves this nation and that nation, but we're really one global civilization. We're all humans. We're all connected with the internet and freeways and airplanes and airports and fucking container ships. And I mean, all of that with the satellites, everybody uses the same satellites. We're all connected globally. So no one wants a fucking one world government because that's stupid. That's just mass slavery there. But culturally, we're all one species now. There is no fucking like undiscovered tribe in the Amazon. There's no undiscovered fucking cannibal bush people in fucking Micronesia somewhere. There's no such thing as some hidden human culture that hasn't been contacted and is outside of civilization. I know we have a few tribes like on some tropical islands that we isolate and refuse to bring them into modern civilization for some bullshit reason, like, ooh, we can't destroy their culture. Yeah, that's bullshit, because what you're doing is letting them die from things like childbirth and dental problems that are highly preventable. And they're suffering off of some liberal bullshit about preserving culture. So that was the crop stuff. Anyways, to stick with the new farming stuff, the China, how they've been stonewalling on buying shit. Now the rumor is that they're buying up all the July corn futures. Now this week, the corn futures is important. This is an important week because you got the USDA is not the only organization that collects data on crops. There are private organizations. There's a nonprofits sometimes, and there's actually for-profit crop analysts that farmers actually give money to actually come out and do surveys on the actual farmlands, because you got to remember, a lot of farmers don't trust the government, so they pay non-governmental scientists to give them the real facts on the fucking crop stuff that they need to know. And those people are slowly coming out, and they look at the USDA data and then they correct it with their corrective data, and they go through it with a fine-tooth comb and they find out how fucked up it is and they correct those mistakes, and then they come out with numbers based off of their corrections of the data. And that information is starting to come out. And I'm guessing starting today, it probably happened yesterday too, but they're going to have some corrections to the data. And when people realize how fucked it is, the corn futures for July are going to go through the roof. And they only have until Friday. July corn futures, your options for buying July corn futures ends on the COB Friday for the entire month, because you can't buy a July future if July's over. You know what I'm saying? So you buy July futures, and then you have to decide if you're going to stand for delivery or not in the last week of July. So the last week of July is when you're forcing them to fucking deliver that July stuff. Like, that's just how it works, I guess. Okay. I don't know. I'm learning about farming and stuff and the stock markets. You got to know how everything works. And that's what we do here. We try to figure out how everything works. Yo, yeah, that's what we do. I'll be right back. Need a little more meds myself. It is 9:40-ish. Because at 10-ish, I want to ask about. Can you message him later at 10?
Okay. Remind me.
I'm going to get right here. After it first.
Okay.
But I want to ask why it's early, I'm back. I don't smoke weed, but I can still do CBD. It helps me with, like, the Seroquel helps regulate me. Oh my God, it took so long. My hormones last night were so fucking out of whack, and my adrenalines, and I was so angry for like 2 hours into the night before the Seroquel actually made me go to sleep finally. It was terrible. It's so weird. Like, people try to pretend or accuse me of not having mental health issues, and I'm like, Seroquel, normally on a normal night, 30 minutes, I can't even keep my head up, okay? I'm like, gone. Last night, I was just laying in bed, getting up, fucking trying to lay back down for like 2 hours because my bipolar shit had me off in rage fucking mood. And I was like angry for like, and couldn't go to sleep. My brain wouldn't stop thinking about things that were fucked up and making me all angry. And I was awake for like 2 hours instead of the half hour. And that's what bipolar does to you. And with the healthy sprinkling of PTSD of a fucked up life and stuff. So where was I with that crop stuff? I already covered. So that's what happened with that number. But anyways, the future. So they were stable for the first day after the crop report. And then I think Wednesday they started to climb again. So today, okay, so they were already at, I think, oh, and here's the big news. Those private equity firms and bean counter type dudes, the cubicle slaves and stuff, they're saying that this week the July and December corn futures might flip, because the December futures are always more, on average, almost always more expensive than the July futures, because in July it's assumed that you got a shit ton of supplies, and then December is always more expensive because maybe they're running low at that time. And so it's like low, like and you're going to have higher demand in the winter because there's snow and ice, and cattle get more grain feeds in the wintertime than they do in when spring and summer, when there's like, you know, pastures they can graze on and stuff. So, and then the you're having higher, plus you got the holidays in December and stuff like that, November and December. So grains are going to be more expensive then because there's just more demand and a lower supply because it's the middle of winter, obviously, and most of the stuff gets bought up before the winter, right? So it's just kind of common sense to see that a December futures will almost always be more expensive than your July futures when there's lower demand and higher supply. This is just classic, very, very basic economics 101 level of stuff. It's not complicated. They try to make it all sound fancy and using big words and stuff like that to make it be all complicated because they want people to, the bean counters want people to think that they're doing something special that only they can do. But it's really pretty simple once you break it down to the bare bones stuff. It's really simple concepts. But anyways, I heard one report yesterday that they think the fucking corn futures from December and July might flip. All right, meaning July futures becoming more expensive than December futures this in the next few days. Now, if that happens, what that means is our storage supplies of corn are gone. They're gone. If the July futures go above December futures, it means we're that those and then if they stand for delivery on them, it means our corn supplies for the whole winter are probably gone. That's what that means. Because you're not going to see a flip like that unless there's something seriously wrong in the supply and demand equation. So that's what that means. So I'll keep my eye on the corn futures. And remember, the corn drags everything else. The soybeans, the cattle prices, the pig prices, everything else is controlled by corn in human civilization. The corn is used for silage for feeding the cattle. It's the corn itself. It feeds people. We make sugars out of it. We make fuels out of it. We make cooking oils out of the corn. Corn is used for so many things and we have a corn centric fucking civilization. I mean, you could really say that corn is what our civilization is based off of because of that. I mean, between that and wheat. Anyways, more crop news. China has new environmental regulations. It's not even an environmental. I think some of it's environmental, but they have new food safety standards laws they've just passed to where they're limiting the amount of soy that they're allowed to feed their cows and pigs for feed. So this past however many years that China's is our largest purchaser of soybeans because they are the world's largest supplier of pork, and they use the soy to feed the pork, and it's a very inefficient system. But that's not the point. The point of it is they just passed laws that they're not going to be buying so much soy anymore. They got Americans conditioned to grow all this soy, and now they're going to fucking cut it off and not buy it no more. And the farmers are still planting soy right now. So if you know farmers, please share this information with them and let them know to stop planting soy. They got to go back to corn and wheat, cucumbers, peppers, anything but soy.
Things don't grow in the same place as the greens grow.
Well, what does grow where the soy would grow? Rice?
Oats.
Oats is a good one. But let them know they got to get away from growing soy because China's not going to be buying all of it anymore. And it's going to be a destabilized market because of that. So if you know the farmers, educate them and let them know what China, tell them to look up what China's doing, talk to their fucking brokers, they have brokers for selling their grain futures and stuff like that. And then tell them to fucking the brokers, if you know the brokers, let them know to start looking into what China's doing. They're not going to be buying the soy no more. No more slant-eyed soy boys. Is that racist of me?
Probably.
Oh, well. But yeah, the soy market is going now because the planting windows for soy and oats and all these other things and the sunflowers hasn't shut down yet. The even with the new fucking guidance from the USDA to lie about the crop acreage, they haven't declared prevented planting on all the other crops. Only corn. Corn season closes first, then followed by soy, and then like oats and sunflowers. And there are a lot of states up there that grow cucumbers too and stuff. I think up in the Michigan area and Ohio, I think. No, stuff like that. I'd have to look it up. But those windows stay open longer because they're faster growing crops, so they can be planted later. So even though the USDA is telling the farmers to lie about the planting conditions and stuff like that, the numbers from the other crops are not as skewed as the corn crops is. Now the soy window is closing. I think tomorrow is the supposed window for soy closing for many places, not every place, but many places. So after tomorrow, we can expect some news to come out about the soy crop. So the next crop progress report is on the 24th, which will have data from the 23rd of the conditions as of the 23rd. And that's the next marker we're going to be looking at. Now, if you remember back a little while ago, I was explaining that if the markets do certain, like if the grains are expensive, the ranchers won't be able to afford to buy the grains to feed the herds. Now let me explain another thing here. So you got expensive food, and with Trump's trade war, there is no progress there. Let me explain this. Trump is he's the most biggest failure of a president like in all of US history. By this time in each president's fucking presidency, they would have at least even the worst presidents like Reagan and Lincoln and stuff, like the very what? Bush. Even but my God, Trump is making Bush look like a diplomatic fucking genius.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane, man. But like a president by where were we in year 3?
What?
Of his presidency?
Is it?
I think so. Isn't this winter like year 2.5 going into year 3?
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. But by this time in a person's presidency, they would have at least a handful of global treaties, which is what presidents do. The job of the president is you are the chief goddamn diplomat. You're the chief negotiator for your nation. You're the top diplomat. You're the one that makes the deals. That's your job as the president, is to fucking make deals with other nations. And Trump has zero accomplishments. He's the only president in US fucking history that has zero fucking trade deals by this point in his presidency. Zero. He's by far the most failure of a fucking president in all of US history. All of it. But every president, Trump is the worst, the shittiest, the most do-nothing motherfucker that America has ever had as a president. He has zero treaties. And just so you know, that's what it's called. It's called a treaty. That's what the documents is called. There's a process for it. It's actually in the Constitution. If you look in the U.S. Constitution, it has the guidelines on how a president and the government conduct business with the rest of the world. You see, that's what constitutions are. It's the founding documents of how you form your initial government. Then it has the laws on how government transfers power to the next generation or whatever. And it has laws on how your government interacts with other governments. That's what a constitution is. It's not just about freedom of speech and keep your hands off my guns and killing the gays or whatever. No, a constitution is your founding document on how you conduct business both with yourself and the rest of the world. That's what a constitution is. And it has the laws on how the USA does treaties and how the president is your chief diplomat and how the president does the negotiating. The president sits down with the other fucking diplomats at high levels and says, we want X. And they say, well, we want X. And they're like, well, okay, so your X and our X is they're worth this much. Use your math. The accountants come in and do a bunch of fucking crazy shit. And at the end of the day, you like look at it and you're like, okay, so we're going to ship this to you and you're going to ship this to us. And this is what it's going to cost each of us. Do we like the prices? Yes. You sign that shit. You send it to Congress. They sign it. It becomes a law of the land. That's how treaties work. That's what every president does. And that's the one thing that that Trump has not done. He has 0 treaties. 0. In fact, this whole thing with Mexico, if Mexico signs it and then the US signs it, it'll actually be the one and only piece of fucking legislation Trump has done in his entire presidency so far. The only thing. Everything else he's done has been breaking laws. He's been trashing international laws. That's all he's done. All of the international laws that America has been a treaty to, like they're actual laws of America because they went through the treaty process. Congress ratified them. Past presidents sign off on it. It's why Iran refuses to talk to Trump. They said he's not even worthy of talking to because he does nothing but break the law. Iran gave America a chance with the whole Obama thing and the JCPOA nuclear deal. And they said, okay, we'll make some changes. If it'll make you happy, you'll fuck off and leave us alone. And they signed that. Iran ratified it on their end. The US ratified it on their end. And then Trump walked away from it in an illegal fashion. Here's another thing you might not know. Okay, just so you know, I have a bachelor's degree in environmental law and science. So the reason I know all of this stuff is because I had to study US constitutional law and trade law to understand environmental policy, because a policy is just another word for laws. So I have a bachelor's degree in studying the law. And that's why I know how all this treaty stuff works. Where was I at? The Iran thing. So when you make a treaty, like I already explained the whole part where you're doing a treaty because you want trade and stuff, and you're like negotiating prices and things like that and mechanisms. And treaties have other sections, like after you go, here's what we want, here's what they want, here's what we're all going to do about it. And then underneath that on the treaty, it'll have guidelines. Each nation has to fucking put a part in the treaty on how they will cancel the deal. How there's a vehicle, every treaty has a vehicle on how to withdraw from the treaty, and it gives the conditions that you accept as legal for withdrawing from it. And it gives a vehicle on how you withdraw from it. What Trump did by saying, oops, walking away, that violated the actual treaty. He violated both US and international law when he pulled out of the JCPOA. Because he did it illegally, violating the treaty itself by pulling out of it illegally. So he violated both the Constitution, the US law, and international law. So just so you know, when your stupid DNC liberal pussy-hatted soy boy or whatever the fuck you want to call those motherfuckers, when they talk about impeaching Trump, it's a fucking show. It's not real. It's all for show. Remember, they're just fucking the other side of the fucking clown car. The reason you know this because I've just explained how the laws work. Remember, impeachment is what you do if you think your president is guilty of high crimes and misdemeanors, and withdrawing from a global bilateral or a multi-party treaty, international treaty, the way Trump did, is a fucking high crime and misdemeanor at a global fucking scale. So if anybody in Congress was actually serious about impeaching Trump, they would have already impeached him. He would be impeached, and then after you get impeached, you vote to fucking with remove the motherfucker from office. Impeachment is just the hearing of the facts to see whether or not your president is guilty of the things you charge him with. The impeachment is just the accusations and the congressional trial. All right. And if the impeachment is concluded saying that they're guilty, then you vote to withdraw them from office, to remove the president from office. And you can do that to judges, senators. You can do an impeachment on any elected person. Any elected person can be impeached. Impeachment is just the first step of the process of removing an elected person from office, though. It's not the big thing that everybody makes you think it is. Anyways, but yeah, that's how you know that the American government is fake. It's a fake government, because if there was any fucking truth to there being a left and a right, and the left wanting to impeach Trump, he would have been impeached already. It would have been done. If there was any truth of the right wing, the so-called right wing, and Trump draining the swamp, a whole bunch of people would already have been impeached and removed from office and then tried for crimes against the state, against humanity, against international law. That already would have happened. So that's how you know there's no such thing as an actual democratically elected government in America. If there was a democratically elected government in America, there would have been massive fucking politicians being kicked out of office and put in prison. Trump, Obama, Hillary, fucking Colin Powell, simply for being stupid. Fucking every single fucking person in government. If Trump was all serious about draining the swamp, everybody in government would have been removed from government by now. The fucking State Department would have arrested everybody and removed them from office for fucking crimes against our nation, for treason. But you didn't see that happen. So that should tell you that we don't have a real government of democracy in America. What we have is our so-called scientific offices, the USDA, lying about how fucking fucked our fucking food supply is. I mean, if we had a real government, our Congress would be passing laws to help our farmers, to make sure that we didn't go totally to make sure the banks and the corporations didn't buy all of the fucking farmland, that the farmers are going bankrupt. We would be starting a new strategic grain reserve. We would be funding the Army Corps of Engineers to do fucking flood management. Massive billion-dollar infrastructure projects would be done. But what we have instead is a $16 billion give money to the rich people bill. That's what we got at the expense of our farmers. All of our local farmers are going to be going out of business, folks. I mean, it's not just the Midwest. There's plenty of farmers in California and everywhere else too. And they're being raped by their government. And it's like, seriously, like, we now know you can't build houses in towns on a floodplain, but you don't see the U.S. government passing bills to fucking relocate these towns away from the floodplain. I mean, think about it. Look at La Crosse.
That's just too expensive. Pish posh.
And yeah, but you know, it's like that. Anyways, have I ranted enough?
Sure.
I
Okay.
don't know what's going on. Okay, so America is going ahead with the whole attacking Iran thing, I think. Oh, I guess I should cover that really fast. Can you bring me the phone, I guess, when you're done? Unless you want to do the text for me. Should I do that?
I'm gonna bring you the phone.
Okay. My gosh, honey. Hey, I don't know, man. Because I don't want to do it this morning. If I have to, I will. If I just run in and run out,
Mm-hmm.
So, and plus I'm like live streaming at the moment, so I hope my kiddo's okay. I'm really worried. My kid's mom went fucking insane. I hate asking for favors, but we're almost done with that.
Yeah. We're like $900 away from being done with it. Okay, more than that, because registration and insurance.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I'll just say after lunch. Ah. Alrighty. Yeah. Oh, dog food. That's basically all it's for, is the dog food.
Mm-hmm.
And a few other
Also,
things.
do we even need to go to Safeway?
Yes, because we're out of dog food.
Okay.
We have no meats for them. They're like gone.
Okay, I thought you meant the other dog food.
No, the freezer dog food, it's all gone. I have enough for their dinner.
Yeah, they were bummed about not having catfish this morning.
I know. I got catfish. They didn't like that. Well, Puppy eats anything now for some reason.
No, Puppy ate it and Blue ate it.
This blue box will never go away.
I know, until it's gone.
Oh, I guess I clicked on something and it worked. I don't know. So, anyways, Congress is saying, Trump, you can't bomb Iran without our permission. And Iran's saying, there's not going to be a war with America because they're bitches. So, and then Russia is talking, like running news stories about how defenseless the Iranian military is against the USA. So what that means is Iran and Russia are allies. So if Russian media is talking about how weak Iran is, it's because it's a trap. It's a trap. You get it? It's a trap. So they keep talking about how we're sending 1,000 more troops now and blah, blah, blah. Those are silly numbers. They're not real. They're sending way more than that. They always do. We have 70,000+ Americans floating around the Middle East right now. Either it's the Persian Gulf, bases in Iraq, bases in Syria. There's a lot of people. Oh, with the Iran thing, it's a trap. It's what's going to happen is America is a bully, and America is afraid to attack any nation that's even comes close to being having equivalent like symmetrical military strength as America has. America's a bully. So what's happening is Iran and Russia are playing the limp gambit, and they're playing up how weak Iran is because they're baiting America into attacking Iran. Now, that's going to give Iran and Russia and China and Iraq the fucking justification they need to go to town on all U.S. forces in the Middle East. Right now, there's a lot of diplomatic bullshit going on. Also, U.S. bases are being so-called attacked in the Middle East, and suspiciously, no U.S. personnel are ever hurt. So I think those are also provocation, false flag type things from the Jews. So what I think is going to happen is America is going to try to do this surgical strike on an Iranian nuclear fucking plant. And just so you know, they are nowhere close to nuclear weapons grade fissionables. Their shit is all for medical equipment and stuff, and like cancer treatments and things and science. Like, it's literally against their religion to build a nuclear bomb and use it. Not to build it. It's against their religion to use a nuclear bomb. It's considered a sin under their version of Islam. So it's like, and unlike Christians, the fucking Iranians actually believe in their religion, and they actually believe in that shit. And they take it serious. It's not just some shit they pretend on Sunday and then go about their fucking life as a criminal scumbag. No, they actually believe their religion, and they take it serious. So they're playing up how weak they are and how terrible their air defense systems are. Specifically, Russia just 2 days ago or something ran an article, an in-depth analysis of how shoddy the Iranian air defense system is, and really hamming it up on just, you know, how they have no chance of competing with American air superiority and stuff like that. So they're being baited. America's being baited. They're a bully. So they're getting all this fucking intelligence about how weak Iran is, because that's what Iran and Russia are presenting, and they're stupid, and they're going to believe it because they're arrogant, and America thinks they're always the best at everything, you know. So they're going to go do a strike, or they're going to attempt to do a fucking missile bombing campaign against a Iranian nuclear reactor target. And what's going to happen is a lot of pilots are going in real life trolling. Yeah, basically. And they're going to get shot down unexpectedly because America thinks they're the best and baddest at everything. And their airplanes are going to get shot down. And while their airplanes are getting shot down, Iran's going to sink their aircraft carriers so that the airplanes have nowhere to go home to, because they're going to be underwater. And you can't land on an underwater fucking aircraft carrier. And while that's happening, the Iraqi popular forces, they have a national militia in Iraq that does not want America there. In case you didn't know, Iraqi parliament is slightly divided right now because the USA has been corrupting Iraqi parliament again. We're corrupting the Iraqi government, seriously. But they are consistently voting to tell America to get the fuck off of their land. America is actually illegally occupying Iraqi territory right now. Should I come look at that?
I'll bring it to you.
Okay. So Iraq, and then you got the people in Syria, and is it bad news? Oh no, it's good. Oh my.
See, I didn't. He
Uh,
was looking for a yes/no answer, and I didn't have it.
It's sure you can. Yeah. People.
I can't eat a lot of things anymore.
Yeah.
So that means he's going to be in town at that time, I guess. So. He's probably trying to not do so much directing.
Yeah. Well, it's just in town.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There would be other
Uh, uh, uh,
I'm gonna do a nervous dab. Talking to people is hard.
I know. Or maybe he can drop us.
Drop us off before that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might work.
That would work, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would make it. Well, that means we have to start getting ready for going and things, but I can't talk about it online. I don't talk about what we do because we have stalkers and spies, and we have to and we're afraid they'll try to ruin our lives and kill us. Like, seriously, they tried to bribe my daughter to be against me. I mean, it's that bad. It's that fucking stupid. So they're really bad people.
Really, you're the only one who's being straight up with her.
Well, apparently, which is sad because,
yeah.
I mean, how hard is it to be honest with your
exactly.
kid? You know, I mean, we're safe because we got a dog that's an ex-police dog that'll fucking murder anybody that tries to break into the fucking house. And that's probably the only thing that saved us. We also got another dog that'll fucking murder you too. So we got a pair of attack dogs that guards the house whenever we're not home. But I prefer to not put dogs to impose upon my pets like that, you know?
That's asking a lot.
Yeah. Anyways, I better but anyway, so yeah, I think if the stupid America is going to do an attack on Iran, that it's gonna fucking spiral into fucking world war because everybody's really sick and tired of America and Israel right now, and the shit's gonna hit the fan soon because America is batshit crazy. I'm gonna go get a shower. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning, folks. We'll be back. We'll be back. Not sure when, but soon. I'll see y'all later.